Baton Rouge in the South? Forgive my geography. I'm Canadian. Is Baton Rouge in the South? It is, right?
Only thing I know about Baton Rouge is it's a restaurant that serves great ribs. I don't know the actual location of the real place.
And keep in mind, this place that you're talking about is in Canada. The point is there's some real armpits of the US, like real armpits, like musty, stank, hairy armpits in that country. And I don't want to, and I know it sounds like it, I'm generalizing an entire group of people, but damn, man. I mean,
There's just a lot of things happening in the southern states that are very questionable, and not just in Florida with what's going on in Florida right now. There's a lot of other places. We talked about Tennessee. Here we are talking about Baton Rouge. I've heard some things going on in the Carolinas.
but mostly Florida. But anyways, how is it that you get the idea in your head that I'm going to teach you a lesson you will never forget when it has to do with a 4-year-old? If you've ever seen The Simpsons, Bart used to work for the mafia and they were smuggling cigarettes. Homer found his room full of cigarettes. And Homer said, Bart, you're going to smoke every one of these and you'll never do it again. Same thing in King of the Hill. Hank did the same thing with Bobby, and Bobby became addicted to cigarettes. Pretty funny episode. I'm assuming these two women, black women, seen the same episodes of The Simpsons and King of the Hill, because they seen a 4-year-old taking a sip of 80% 80 proof whiskey, a sip, and that right there is parental negligence. But no. They don't take the blame for it because, 4-year-olds, they can reach up on high shelves, open very tightly closed bottles. So 100% was the 4-year-old's fault. They don't take the blame. So what do? They say, oh, you like to drink, eh? Finish the entire bottle.
Yeah. And they forced the 4-year-old to finish the entire bottle.
What do you think 40% is going to do to a 4-year-old?
And then they put the 4-year-old in the bathtub after that.
What
to
was
recover,
it?
I guess?
600. I want to make a point of saying this here. Where is it?
This story is wild, insane, stupid, and crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot wrong here, but I believe it was, here we go. 680%. That was the child's blood alcohol level. That is 8 times the amount for a full-grown adult.
Right.
How could you think this is a good idea? I could understand doing this. Not the entire thing, because according to people who were there, the bottle was like over half full.
Well, that was according to the siblings of the child that died. Let's be very clear about that.
I could understand doing this to like a 16-year-old, a 17-year-old. Like you're never going to drink
that much
again.
alcohol.
Of course not. Of course.
Right.
Remember, it's 80%.
Half a bottle. I'm not doing that as a grown adult.
Exactly.
Have I done it? Unfortunately, yes, but not intentionally.
But a certain age, you can actually apply
right. I
that
was
lesson.
very grown when that instance happened. Exactly.
Like, who's doing this? So, anyways, the video popped off with me disparaging this entire region, and I'm sorry again, but
there's a lot of things happening in the South that are questionable. I'll say it again. Don't go back on your words, my nigga. Don't go back, man.
This is crazy.
This is factual. This is not us coming down on people, because yes, I understand that in every area there is going to be people who are not the norm, who are not agreeable with what is going on in their state. But guess what? They're still happening in the states, which means in these specific states, which means that the majority of the people there have to either agree with it or back it in some way just to be able to pose some of the regulations that are being posed in the South. Just to even put them forth as far as wanting to implement them into law and make them a bill, there has to be a majority agreement within that state, or they wouldn't even put it forth to have the balls to do it. So when stuff like this happens, and we keep saying that it happens in these states in the South, I don't care what this guy says. I'm going to say this for me, and I'm not going to speak for him, but I'm also speaking for him. You get what I'm saying on that one? Because he didn't ask me to do this. But there's something fucked up about the states down there. Those southern states, y'all are doing some crazy shit, man. And the fact that y'all have parents down there who really believe that they should feed their 4-year-old half a bottle of liquor as punishment. This is not something I could fathom, and this is for real happening in like New York, in Wichita, even. You know what I'm saying? Like it's to me, it's just like I don't get what happens as you move further or closer to the equator. I don't know if it's the heat. I don't know if it's the fact you guys have hurricanes and tornadoes and you can't predict the weather. So
The
your life is
heat.
a little on edge all the time.
This guy says the heat.
I
Although the
I
heat can
don't
make you do some pretty erratic things.
I don't know. I have to understand what it is. Are you dehydrated? Because I hear there's a lot of droughts down there as well. You guys have a lot of forest fires and lack of water. What is it? Right? Michigan is living without clean water for so long.
You ain't hearing this over there.
They ain't feeding their children half bottles of liquor to compensate for that. What is happening?
You know what I don't understand, or I mean, I guess I do understand,
And
but
Wichita might be a southern state, but I don't care. I just let me go back on that.
listen, Baton Rouge is a great restaurant. But look, let me say this. There was a time, and I'm not suggesting that we go back to these days, but there was a time where there was what's the word? Like, I want to say vigilante, but like they could like mob justice. There was a time where if this happened,
Mafia mentality.
but if this happened, the whole neighborhood will go to this house, drag those two out, and deal with them accordingly. And this is going to sound super harsh, but I'm sorry. This child was 4 years old. And if we, the community, is not going to stick up for that 4-year-old, who is? And I can say that confidently because this was done to her, to this child, by her mom and her grandmother, the two people that you would believe would have that child's best interest in mind. So I say again, if the community is not going to stick up for this child, who is? So there was a time they would get drug out, and whatever happens, happens. You know, there's some places in the East, right? Where, and I'm not agreeing with this, I'm just kind of giving you an example. I think this is 100% wrong. But the things they do to like women, if they like show their face, cheat on their husband, things of that nature. Stoning, for instance. Honor killings, for instance. I don't agree with any of these things. But what I'm trying to say is like they have a level of like that you just need to be able to function in society. And if you function underneath that level, it's not going to fly in their society. They're going to handle you accordingly. They don't call 911. They don't wait for you to go through the legal system. They deal with it. And it may sound crazy when you apply that to what happened to this little girl, but I put emphasis on the words little girl. So yeah, fuck the legal system. I'm sorry. I'm a Christian, but the one thing that I always have to give to the Quran is that eye for an eye. I'm about that, man. I'm 100%
It's crazy
about
because
that.
like this 4-year-old is dead, and like there's a possibility, just based on the charges, that one or both of these ladies may be able to see the light of day again. Like they may be set free after this. And let's not forget, as I mentioned earlier, the people who let them know that the bottle was half full were siblings. So that means that this lady has other children, plural. So if this is how she's treating a 4-year-old, imagine how she's treating her children that were older than the 4-year-old. Imagine the discipline that they get for actions that they have done before. And they didn't result in death, is what I'm saying. So it wasn't a big story. I think people aren't taking that into account as well. Like if this is what she's willing to do with the youngest, because 4-year-old has to be the youngest kid that she has, if there's other people testifying that this is what happened. I'm worried. I'm worried not just about her, obviously, but like I said, what the beep is going on in these southern states.
Well, clearly the word that I was searching for, and I'll apply it now, is standards. Standards. The standards are they seem to be a lot lower in these pockets in the US, right? But hey, that could just be my emotions talking because I'm irritated. I'm a dad, and I have a daughter who is almost 4. So what do you want from me? Of course I'm gonna react like this, right? So standards, man. I don't want to live in a community where stuff like this can happen. And of course this can happen anywhere. But like the larger point you were making is the bills they're passing. Of course,
There's
the
a
the
lot of
general
things.
public, the general public has to go along with it. And if the general public is going along with these type of bills that are getting passed in these states, well, obviously there is something wrong with the general public. And this is a clear example of that. This is this duo that fed this 4-year-old more than a half a bottle of 80% liquor. They probably were okay on some of these crazy bills that are being passed because it speaks to the population.
Right.
Come on, man. Yeah, it's sick. It's a sick place. Sick place. And when people tell me you should have more kids, I'm like, how? Why would I do that?
How? Well, I mean, I could tell you how. If you ever want to know how you have more kids, I can let you know the process.
The point is why would I do that? Like, look at this place.
Yeah.
This place is fucked. Sorry.
I seen.
Why would I
don't
do
know.
it?
Listen, I don't know if any of these numbers are true, but I just seen something the other day that said, if humans continue to consume meat, and obviously this was a vegan vegetarian thing, but if we continue to consume meat on the way that we're consuming it, there will not be enough by the year 2045.
It's plausible.
So, I don't know. I don't do the research. I saw this on one spot. I didn't look or confirm it anywhere else. This is what I saw. But listen,
the only reason why I'll say
that's the world we're living in.
The only reason I'll say it's plausible is because they're already making fake meat, right? I'm not talking about tofu.
No, not the Beyond Meat. No.
Talking about like manufactured,
chemically engineered, man-made beef.
There's also
steaks.
A company in Japan.
Yes.
In Japan, where they take your feces and they extract the meat particles, and they make that. It sounds funny, but I'm dead ass. They made a burger from meat shit.
Yo, listen.
So the reason why that's no, but the reason why that's so important to say, and then we can end it here, is because when you say that you read this thing or seen it, that we could have a real meat shortage in the year 2045. Well, this is not news to these people who are doing what we just said.
Living this lifestyle, yeah.
They know this, so they're trying to correct it before it becomes a real problem. If you are around in 2045, 2060, you may be eating a meat shit burger. Because if not, I guess you're just gonna go vegan or eat insects.
I was worried about dying young. I don't know anymore.
Interesting place we went to from
I feel like I'm gonna be dead either way, living or dying. So
viewing public, what are your thoughts on this, man? If you are in one of those southern states, please, I really want to hear from you. I don't care to hear from anybody else. I'm sure, like, if we do get any hate, that's fine. But I want to.
I want because listen, I want the hate. I want to see. I want to see what they have to say in defense.
No, I want the hate from the people living in these states.
No, that's what I mean. That's what I mean, because I want to see what they have to. I want to see what they have to say about this. If you, well, obviously, most like, well, I don't know what happens in these states. Somebody might actually agree with what the parent did. So you know what? I'm gonna just drop it. I can't call it anymore. I can't call it anymore.
It's dropped. Viewing public, what are your thoughts? 80%, man. That's a lot of alcohol. Just think when you get a cut and they need to put alcohol to disinfect. Just think that. All right. And a 4-year-old drink that. All right. Deuces. Okay.